And I don't care how much time you spend in your backyard swinging around by yourself, you are not going to catch up to people who have thousands of years of tradition to hand down to you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Hello Haymarket. I'm your host, Daniel Nice, and we are so excited today to be joined with the Billion and Better crew. We have Ali and Emily. Guys, thank you so much for coming in today.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Yeah, I'm so excited we get to record with the celebrities.
Now, before we get into what we're going to talk about today, can you guys just give us a primer on Billion and Better?
Yeah, so Billion and Better is a podcast Emily and I started, and what that means to us is not just $1 billion, right? Is we're on a path of building a business, a very big business. And to us, billion and better means the journey, right? You're going to come across a lot of different things that you need to work on and really make tweaks throughout the way. So the way I look at it is really building the foundation is what does your health look like if you're on this journey? What does your emotions look like? What does a career look like? What are the finances and the things you learn along the way? And we also talk about a lot of tactical things. We're talking about how to budget in a business or how to take feedback or give feedback, right, when you work with people. So Billion and Better is really going on a journey of living $1 billion life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And one of the things that I think is really cool about the two of you is that you come at it from different perspectives, right? Ali, you're in the trenches as the agent. Emily, you're
I think I'm in the trenches.
Well, tell me about your experience and what you're bringing to it.
Yeah, I run and help build and execute on the operations that supports all the agent teams and offices and ancillary services that we have. So I do ops, he does sales, and together we do coaching and training and development and all of that stuff. So
yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. The way it feels sometimes is that all of our clients are coming to me like I have all these problems that Daniel has to solve. But every time all of us agents have problems, we go to Emily.
Yeah, actually, no. It's my team. I'm not even going to lie. It's them. It's totally them and not me. But yes, the ops team. We're here to solve problems. I think that's what all of our jobs are, right? We're solving problems for people, you for your clients, us for agents and teams and offices and all of that. So yeah, we're just problem solvers. Just
the bigger problems you solve, I think the closer to $1 billion we're going to get.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and it's also the leadership journey, right? All of us are really on a leadership journey. So it's not just the things we do, is how do we do it through people or leadership in life and the relationships that we have.
Mm-hmm. I think another one of my big goals we talked about on one of our episodes is like de-tabooizing or ivory towerizing like what it means to build $1 billion business, because we see these people that are like 10, 15, 20 years ahead of us and we kind of put them on a pedestal like they're some kind of superhuman. And while some of them certainly are, a lot of them are just like us, sitting here, building something from a dream and a vision and like brick by brick. And we made sure that when we record episodes, like we're not afraid to get real and messy and kind of, there's a lot of failures and learnings along the way. And sometimes people don't want to admit those, or they feel like they're failing because they had a failure. And really that's not what it is. It's about how do you like get real and honest about the long, actually forever journey of building $1 billion life. I like you said that, $1 billion life.
Yeah, one of the things that you make me think of, you mentioned not putting these people who are so much farther ahead in their journey on a pedestal, right? They're people just like you and me. The first thing I thought of was Ali. On his Facebook, I saw the other day, posted a photo of him and Gary Keller, right? Who, he's the head of Keller Williams, but he's also basically a $1 billion agent in a lot of ways. So, and he's not like, don't talk to me, right? He's like, come on, take a photo. Let's work on some problems together, right? So that's really cool.
Gary got to meet Ali.
I think you guys even exchanged I love yous too, didn't you?
We did.
The photo online, they're definitely looking in each other's eyes very tight. It was beautiful. So one of the reasons I wanted to bring you guys on the podcast today is because a lot of the people who I talk to in my day-to-day, the difference between, I think, the people who get heavily involved in real estate and the people who are very standoffish and don't feel comfortable in their own skin talking about it is the difference between the people who have this entrepreneurship mindset and the people who don't. So how would you guys characterize, in your experience, right, what makes someone an entrepreneur versus someone who would be less comfortable with that moniker?
Yeah, so entrepreneur to me is somebody is willing to go out there, go in the ocean on a raft by themselves, take the risk, not to be scared of this very scary journey, right? There's going to be fear, but you're going to overcome that. and build the muscle to, like you said, get more comfortable in their own skin, to get more confident as they go on this journey, to get results. An entrepreneur thinks of really unlimited potential, what I can build or what I can achieve. And you can be an entrepreneur within a company too. It's really a mindset of life is unlimited and I'm going to make the most of it.
I love that.
Yeah, that's actually, I've been thinking a lot about this. Like, how do I simplify it? We talked about on one of our episodes, like, you don't understand something well enough if you can't explain it really simply. So I challenged myself a lot to, like, what is an entrepreneur? And I was like, okay, an entrepreneurial mindset is the mindset in which you see opportunity everywhere. And an entrepreneur is somebody who executes on it and is okay to fail, but executes on seeking that opportunity. And I think that's a pretty good definition. That was like, I think that simplifies and boils it down for me, because like I was thinking a lot about our team. Like we have people who are sales based and earn income and build income and wealth that way. And we have people that earn a salary. And I believe that everybody on our team is an entrepreneur. Even if they earn a salary, it's because we have the mindset that everything is an opportunity for learning, growth, failure, and learn again, and to better yourself and what you're contributing to the business and society. And to me, that's what an entrepreneur is.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the idea of classifying it more as a mindset, right? One of the things that it makes me think of is when I would be going to elementary school as a kid, my dad would be playing Jim Rohn in the car. And one of the things that Jim Rohn said that seeped in to my subconscious was this demarcation point between being a child and being an adult, right? When you're a child, it's always go find the adult to fix the problem. I have a problem. I don't know what to do, full stop. Whereas the day you become an adult, in his mind, is the day that you take full responsibility. There is no other adult to go run to. You have to find the solution to yourself. Now, that can be you finding the correct professional and hiring them, but it's not abdicating the responsibility. It would be delegating the responsibility. What do you guys think about that?
I love that what you said about, like, there is no other adult and I'm going to really count on myself. Like, I know in my life when I really had to stand up for myself and not count on others was the day I grew up, right? And as long as there's somebody there supporting you, as long as you feel like, there's like this boat I can go back on, like, here, if you want to, take over the island, burn the boats. Not always the best strategy, but most of the time, emotionally, mindset-wise, it might be the best strategy. So that really resonates with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's not abdicating, it's delegating. And I think the child mindset is, I don't know, I've never done this before, I can't do it. And then as the parent or, caregiver, you step in and say, let me show you. Whereas that adult mindset is more like, I don't know the answer, but I have a relationship with somebody who does. But it's nuanced, right? Even if you don't know the answer, you're not saying, I don't know, like, what do I do here? You're saying, who can I lean on? What resources can I employ? Because ultimately, the solving of the problem still falls back on me. Like, I'm responsible for getting to the solution, not just saying, I don't know what I'm doing, help me. So that's the difference, I think, to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a concept that I want to throw at you guys and see what you think about this, all right? I remember learning about 3 different stages of life that people go through, where they start off dependent, then they struggle during their teenage years to become independent. And then once they become a fully formed adult, they've learned how to be interdependent, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like there's a journey that a lot of entrepreneurs go through with that, where they start off just as, earning wages, doing what the boss says, and never going above and beyond, right? That's where a lot of people baseline begin, right? Kind of like a kid in school gets their C. Mm-hmm. Then they hit this independence phase where they kind of rebel against the boss man's rules. They want to do it their way, right? But that only takes you so far. Mm-hmm. And then finally you reach this stage where I can build a bigger future for myself if I can learn how to play well with others. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think about that?
Oh, yeah. Totally. You were going to say something, but
I love that.
Yeah, that is. I think in our we talk about ego a lot, and like sometimes in that raw like ego, that I think independent phase, you're like, I can do it myself, and it's almost like proving to yourself that you have the ability to do it. as we age and mature and get wise, we learn, sure, I can do it myself, but it's gonna be better, feel better, and have a longer lasting impact, positive impact if I do it with somebody else, right? Like, and we both bring something to the table. So it's no longer about my ego saying I can do it myself. It's like, I have a partner and we're going to take this thing farther than I could myself. And I don't need the validation, just having my name as the stamp on the solution or whatever it is.
Yeah. One thing that went through my mind when you talked about the interdependent part is when you have a scarcity mindset versus an abundance mindset. I think a lot of entrepreneur, maybe in the beginning, at least this was for me in the real estate journey, you see the newer agents really competing to try to get everything, right? And looking at others as, if this person talks to that person, I'm threatened. Like, I should protect everybody I know. I should try to get everything I can. And they end up getting less, right? Mm-hmm. But if you have an abundance mindset, if you believe there's enough pie to go around, I think it really makes you be able to add value to others, not always be needy and ask for things. And that co-opetition versus competition really helps you get to a place where I think your confidence goes up. I've been in rooms where I see people, and I'm not trying to talk about myself, but let me talk about myself. But you see somebody really just trying to ask for a sale before they added any value versus somebody else that just says, let me do what's best for you. And that reciprocates. They will come back.
At the beginning of this year, I was looking back on how I did as an agent last year, right? And I was able to finally crack personal income over 6 figures, which was a big accomplishment for me. Mm-hmm. But when I reported that back to my direct partner, my mentor, Matt, he was so happy and excited, not just for me, but selfishly for himself, that he was able to create an environment where he was able to support and support that goal for me. So it was just as much a celebration for him as it was for me. And that's one of the things that I looked for in a mentor, in a role model, where I thought to myself, yeah, I would trade places with this guy because I love what he's building and I share his values, right? Mm-hmm. And one day in 10 to 20 years, I would love to be the guy that's helping someone else get their first 6 figures, or with inflation, we're going to need 7. Mm-hmm. But who do you guys look to in your own lives to view as, I would trade places with this person? I would love to have what they've built.
Oh, gosh.
I don't think I want to trade places with anybody. And here's what I mean, right? One of the best maybe advice I heard from this is if you look up to your heroes or idols to want to be like them, is a different mindset versus I'm going to beat them. Not in a competitiveness, because I think that competition is me versus me, but in a I'm going to learn. Here's what I've learned, actually, like really having certain idols, whether it's virtually or people that you meet in person. If you have a rigid mindset that I'm just going to take everything they say and do exactly as they say, sometimes in business, tactics matter, and I need to do exactly the way they're talking about it. But when it comes to life, it's 20% tactics, 80% psychology. And you got to be a more flexible or relaxed mindset so you can adapt what they're saying. Because I've had idols. I've had billionaires that get on podcasts and talk about it like they know what they're doing. And I'm like, they know what they're doing. And they come back a couple years later like, I was wrong. And I'm like, I'm still doing it the way you said it. And that has taught me a lesson that I need to take what they're saying and do it my way. And my goal is not to be like them. My goal is to take the best of everybody and build my own way of doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
I had an answer, and then he totally changed my mind while he was talking.
Well, tell us about that.
Yeah, well, so I don't even think I can back it up anymore after hearing what you said. There's definitely like a slew of people that I admire in my life. People I listen to their content. I've followed. I mean, Simon Sinek was one that like literally changed my life with Start With Why. I feel like that was such like he put me on a different path with that TED Talk, 10 years ago. Completely. And I'm like, man, I would love to do what he does, for a living. And then hearing you say, I wouldn't want to change places with them. I'm like, you know what? You're right. I don't know that I want to change places with them. I think the ultimate would be to sit at a table with them and have me be able to maybe pour into them something, like provide something that they were like, wow, I learned something from her as much as I've learned from them over the last, years that I've been following them. So I think the biggest honor would be actually to be able to operate with them as a peer in what we do, instead of just trade places with, because I'm a lot of stuff that I'm proud of. I wouldn't give up, and I don't want to lose. And I believe enough in myself that I know I have value that they don't, as vice versa.
Let me bring it back a little bit to the dependent, independent, interdependent. Can you think back in your own experience of a time when you may have shifted from one of those categories to another?
Yes. So, being an entrepreneur, you go through the ups and downs and the roller coaster of life, right? And I went from having a job, having good income at a young age for my age, to I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. I was getting out of that job as a full-time employee, and I was going back to school full-time. And that was a transition. But I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I said, this is the path I want to go. And that led into real estate. I didn't originally think it was going to be real estate sales. I thought it's going to be actually property management. And I struggled in the beginning. And my father stepped in and helped financially, a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there. And I never became independent until he stopped helping. My income immediately went up crazy once he's like, I can't help you anymore, right? So sometimes as a parent, you're trying to create a life like a safety net, but that's actually hurting. My career could have improved much faster. I'm very grateful for what he did. I appreciate it to the bone. I just wish I was independent faster.
Yeah. Do you guys know the story of the butterfly or the moth?
No, actually tell me.
They make a cocoon, right? And when they're ready to emerge from the cocoon, it is the struggle of the emerging that strengthens them to be able to fly. And if you were to take a knife and cut open, even just a little bit, to ease the struggle on the way out, they won't have the strength to fly, and they will die.
That's a good story.
Good analogy.
Yeah, that's a really good analogy, but that's a good story.
Yeah.
So how about you, Emily? The 3 phases.
Oh, yes, definitely. I can think of a time. I think early on in my career when I was doing something totally different, my goal, I loved the people I worked with, and we were all working for a common mission, and I always deeply believed in that. And at the core of how I showed up every day was, I'm going to be a top performer. When I get my performance review, I'm going to master everything. So I could be the person that others sought out for, like, can you help me do better? But really, it was very much in the I can do this and I can be the best at what I do mindset. And I think actually how that limited me, though, is I pretty quickly climbed a career, corporate ladder and rose through the ranks. But my life was just then a series of what is the next promotion I can get, and that's how I grew. And I think actually coming to our company is something that completely changed my life, because while I hold a position at our company, that's not the thing that I'm striving for. Like, what's my next promotion? I don't need that. It's what relationships can I have? Who can I work with? What relationships can I have that make my life better? How can I grow for myself instead of just saying, what's the next promotion? Because in reality, we're a business and we're all entrepreneurial. There's not like a next promotion for me. We're just growing this thing together. And so I think that was the change from independent, I got this, I can be the best at this, to interdependent, that this is my people. We're building a big world together. I will benefit from said big world because I can build simultaneously for myself, but we're doing this together. And truly, I need this team of people, one, to educate me and open my eyes, but to literally lay the foundation together. And to me, that was the biggest change, from just from wanting to be the top performer in a group to let's build together.
Gosh, okay. You guys are making me think about something that, all right. So occasionally we have our family get-togethers, over this past Christmas. I know it was 2 months ago now, but... and we'd have different cousins, kids all around us. And at least in our family, Elise and I have the reputation of being the ones who want to talk about money, who want to talk about, business, want to talk about real estate. And so sometimes they will come up to us and they will actually initiate and they will ask for advice. I want to put you in that seat. You're at a family event. Someone younger family comes up to you and they're asking you for advice on what they need to do, right? What would you tell them?
What kind of advice are they asking?
They're just saying, hey, I don't know what I want to do with my life, you know? What do you do? What do you, I don't know. I guess,
No, you don't have to cut. I have an answer. You have an answer? I totally have an answer. You talk about this a lot, how to save decades off your life. It's something that you teach on. And it's like, find somebody who's further along than you and learn from them. And so if I could rewind my life a little bit, and not that I regret any of it, because every single thing and phase has made me who I am. And I believe like a unique person and individual that can add unique value. But if I could say, okay, I'm going to skip 10 years off my life, it's like learn the art of getting in relationships with people, because what do we always say? Relationships will take you further than money, education, status ever could. And I think by learning the art of getting in relationships with people, you'll kind of be able to discover different paths in life. And to me, it's not even about the career, like what your job title is that you feel fulfilled in what you're doing. And so much, at least for me, so much of that comes from the people that I'm doing it with. Like we could be building a pet shop here and I'd love to sit here with you guys. Like that's what it is. So I would say the art, and this is something I teach my kids, like relationships are the number one thing I think to fulfillment in life and getting where you want to go. You don't have to know how, you have to know who.
Mm-hmm. So two things. I think, depending on the age, you got to explore. Like if you don't know what your passion is, people want to find their passion. That's like the most common thing. And I think the passion is always inside you, right? There's your life story. There's things that have happened. There's the things you overcome that becomes your passion. But if you're like, I'm trying to really figure out what to do, explore. But once you know the direction you want to go, find a mentor. The reason I say that is right now, I think when we look at the younger generations, because I'm so old, you see a lot of people get out of school and immediately want to demand a high salary, right? And the idea of an apprenticeship versus having a master, right? And having a master, there's a reason for that, right? You will save decades off your life if you stand next to somebody and learn the art, and you save all the time that they made mistakes. You can see they will teach you things that they don't work for me, so do it this way. That definitely happened in my real estate career, like getting in and trying to figure it out myself, then finding coaches online, but really actually then finding a master in real life that's doing it really saved a lot of time, right? So to me, is like, and instead of wanting to get like the highest amount of income when you're right out of college or in your 20s, or still trying to figure out in the 30s or even more, to me is like, you will save a lot of time if you stand next to a master, give them 5-10 years, you will save a lot more time and you'll be very more successful.
Yeah, that definitely resonates with me. I mean, I cannot tell you how. Well, I'll give you a quick background. Anyone who doesn't remember this about me, I'm a 4th degree black belt in the martial arts. And I don't care how much time you spend in your backyard swinging around by yourself, you are not going to catch up to people who have thousands of years of tradition to hand down to you. Yeah. Right? You're gonna get there a lot quicker if you have someone who can show you the way.
Another advice I have. It's something I live by. There's a book called, I think it's Cal Newport, Get So Good They Can't Ignore You. Right? There is so many times in your career, in your life, where you're going to feel like, I deserve more. I should get paid more. They don't pay me enough. They haven't promoted me yet. But actually, maybe you're not good enough yet. You haven't added enough value. You haven't built enough experience. Maybe you're actually better than what you're getting. But the only way to move forward is not to keep switching jobs, to just look around, is how can I get better so I cannot be ignored? So when I talk, I'm going to be listened to. So when I demand the salary, they'll pay me whatever to go away. Or when I'm in sales or I'm in entrepreneurship, I am the best person standing, right? So if you have a mentality of I'm going to continuously get better, receive feedbacks, learn from them, get better, learn, and move forward, your career, your life will exponentially grow.
I want to kind of cycle back to one of the things we opened with, which is this idea that you get paid for solving problems. And what I want to say about it is that I think entrepreneurship is not optional. I think the enemy of success in entrepreneurship is apathy. I think you need to understand everything is a business. Your household is a business. And what is a business? What does it mean to be an entrepreneur in business? Is that you are solving problems. I love the quote that Jim Rohn gave me that I listened to, that I have internalized, because it is simply, You're the man or woman of the house because you fix the problems. You identify them, you recognize them, and you don't run away from them, and you don't brush them under the rug. Mm-hmm. You are the person that everyone looks to in an emergency because you're going to step up and put out the fire. That's what I think of when I think of entrepreneurship. And I think if I had that little kid who's probably dependent, right? One of my cousins come up to me. I think the core message I would want to impart on them is to just really understand that this is not going to be optional, right? You can choose to ignore it, but that's going to be at your own detriment, right? Because no matter what facet of life you're facing, there will be problems that need solving. And if you're not the one solving them, who do you hope is going to come solve your problems for you?
Yeah. So I think teaching like young people, children, like to seek the opportunity. So back to like my definition of entrepreneurship is the mindset is seeing opportunity everywhere. So even when they're teeny tiny, 4 or 5 years old, and they come to you with a problem, like teach them to think through what is the opportunity here, either to solve or learn from it. And obviously that's a really complex thought when you put it in those words, but children understand that. Like they understand it like as a concept, actually probably better than we as adults do, because we try to like compartmentalize and frame things too much, and they haven't been jaded by life yet. So teaching them to seek out opportunity. It's a more complicated version, I think, of the like teach to fish mentality, right?
Because that perfectly encapsulates the transition. The child has to go from dependent, this is not my problem, I don't even see the problems, right? We all know
or
people. Or
here's the problem, like mommy, daddy fix.
Well, before that, we all start with, we all know people in our lives who never grew up. You walk into the room and you just know they're oblivious. They have no clue about what needs to be done, right? We all know people like that. So it starts there. So you teach the child to go from dependent into at least recognizing the problem. But the next step up of independent is you're not done there, because they don't know how to fix the problem. They're just going to make it worse because they don't know what they're doing. So teaching them to not just come to you and say, fix this for me, not just come to you and say, I tried, but to get that next step of show me how, teach me to fish. I recognize the problem, and I also recognize that I am not the one who has the experience yet to fix it, so show me how, right? I think that would be the advice that I would impart.
It's really hard in person. I have a preteen and a teenager, and when I ask them to show me how, we're not there.
Yeah, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Ali, Emily, thank you guys so much for coming in today. How can people follow Billion and Better to learn more about you guys and all the knowledge that you have to share?
Yeah, our handle everywhere is at Billion and Better. Super simple. So you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and we're also on Apple Podcasts. So we have weekly episodes and also some fun content on Instagram.
Awesome. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you. We'll have to get you on again sometime.
What an honor. We'd love to.
Until next time.
Until next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Everything is recording.
Okay.
Oh, we're recording.
Yeah. Okay. How are we doing on time here? 3 o'clock? All right. Guys, before we get to the close up, is there anything else that you want me to tee you up to say?
No, I'm like, we're on fire, so it's
We have outtakes and bloopers.
Don't do bloopers on that one.
Well, if you don't have anything else that you want me to tee you up to say, I'm just gonna tee you up for what's the word? Like, you know,
I want to say,
like Billion and Better. Like, come check us out. Here's our tag or whatever. You know.
I want to say, dude, since last time we've been here, you have tremendously grown as an interviewer. I'm so proud of you, man. Like, I want to be like you when I grow up.
Thank you.
Nice. Daniel, nice.
You know, I
Nice.
No, I was telling Elise yesterday how much it meant to me when you and I were hanging out just for a couple minutes yesterday. That was really nice. You're such a good friend to me, and I just thank you so much.
I love you. Thank you for saying that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now we had the moment.
Yeah, we had our bromance.
I need the clip of that because we can compile the
boys
heart.
club is over
here. Don't even start with me on that one. And then rubbing each other's hands. Like we could probably do an Ellie and Dan bromance compilation here. Hold on. Is there anything else that we really want to say? Like,
That's not as short.
Do you have like a zoom in on her for that? Because I think we just like dun, dun, dun.
I'm quite entertaining if I just say so myself. All the bloopers and outtakes are me of us. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Boom.
Turn everything off so it doesn't overheat.
Yeah.
Ali, let's try
Good job,
to.
man.
Thanks.
Emily,
Thank you,
gotten
Emily.
so much better.
Me? Oh, I know. I didn't want to post our first
both are
episode.
great.
I'm the only one who didn't get better?
No, you didn't.
You've always been great.
Actually,
Yeah,
thank
you
you. I
can't
said
break
I
the
know,
ceiling.
and that
Oh,
was
you're
so
great.
not humble. I'm like,
Oh,
yeah, I
you're
know,
great.
thanks.
No, you're
love
self-aware.
it.
It's good.
We
I thought that was a great episode.
That was great.
I think you all had a lot to say.
We
Yeah.
always do. We always do. Our normal flow now is I just have to be weird, and that's the last act. I'm like, I have to be like, okay,
Honestly,
and then we
when
just
you
talk.
said, like, you have